Hey guys, I'm Angelique, this is Bobby. Welcome to another episode of Let's Get Physical. We've already covered a lot on nutrition and fitness. Today we're going to kind of talk about some other things that might trip you up when you are on a process of getting healthy and fit. So kind of like little mistakes that people make. What do you find are some of the common things that people do, like they forget about? You know, obviously they eat right, exercise. What do you think?
Do you see these bags under my eyes? It's sleep. It's always sleep. And it probably has to do with looking at your smartphone too much too.
Yeah,
but it's sleep.
Definitely.
8 hours a night, I don't get it. Don't get mad at me.
You know what? It takes time. I cannot live without sleep. Like none of us can, but I need to have my 8 hours, sometimes even 9 hours a night of just good quality sleep. So it's just shutting off the iPhone, shutting off the computer, making sure, kind of taking that last hour before you go to sleep to kind of make it about you. Maybe have some chamomile tea that helps me out a lot. Unwind, maybe do some meditation. You're gonna see it's so much better, especially when you're working out hard. That is when your body's repairing itself, really, is when you're sleeping.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, sleep's incredibly important.
Yeah.
You have to recover with it. And you mentioned something good that I think a lot of people don't realize. In this day and age, you're watching this video on YouTube, maybe you're watching it in bed on your smartphone, who knows? But everybody's on their phone, everybody's on their iPad. And one of the biggest keys, if you want to get better sleep, one of the easiest ways to do it, A, I'm sorry to say it, get the pets out of the bed.
Oh, yeah.
And B,
sorry guys.
And B, get the iPhone out of the bed.
Yeah.
I mean, turn your iPhone off or whatever, go away from it 30 minutes before sleep and let your eyes calm down.
Yeah, they say like you need to be like in total darkness or try to like get yourself used to being in the dark. So that, I mean, I'm a culprit of this sometimes, being on the phone, trying to fall asleep, but I switched and now I do meditation. So that's a really important, thing that people need to focus on is the sleep.
Let's talk meditation before we move on, because that interests me. You don't have to like look for transcendence and look for enlightenment.
No.
But when you say meditation, do you sit in a room, quiet, try to focus on nothing? What do you do?
I actually listen to a lot of guided meditations that I might find on YouTube, things that are gonna kind of soothe my mind, just different music meditations, sometimes guided meditations, and that way I can kind of unwind, forget about my day. And believe it or not, I'll end up falling asleep halfway through these meditations sometimes. So the days that my mind is super busy and racing, I will have a cup of tea, go to bed, put on a meditation tape, we're in the 80s. I put it on my phone, the meditation, and it'll help me fall asleep. So that's a good thing.
I feel like that's kind of a girly thing to do. I mean, if you're a single guy like maybe you don't admit to doing that, but hey,
I know some guys that do that. So.
All right, well, let's move on. Besides sleep, we talk a little bit about technology, but what else trips people up? One thing that I think of, and you mentioned it on a long day, is the office, your job, your work. If you're at the office for 8, 9, 10, maybe more hours, it's tough not to want to go home and have something quick or go to a fast food joint. How do you work around strenuous work schedules? Can you work around a strenuous work schedule and get healthy?
Yeah, definitely. It's just about planning ahead of time. I think in another episode we kind of covered some of these things, but planning ahead, bringing your food with you to work, or even having a set schedule. Maybe if you have a family, you set the crock pot at the beginning of the morning so that you have a good healthy meal when you come home, and that's part of it. If you have the drive-through, which is like I don't recommend, but it'll happen. The drive-through, get some food for your kids, which I don't have yet. We don't have yet, but it's a very common thing though. Just having the discipline, and the willpower not to get anything for yourself, and having your food separate, and not eating off your kids' plates, because then you're taking in more calories, and you're just trying to like save the food. But it's better just to kind of put it away for, if you have leftovers, put it away for tomorrow.
And let's talk about back in the office, because one thing I think a lot of people deal with at the office, whether they realize it or not, they sit in front of a desk all day. And it's terrible on your back, it's terrible on your legs. It's what, 5-minute breaks, stand up, walk around for 2 and 3 minutes every 30 minutes or every hour or something. Just take little breaks. And even though you're just getting the blood flowing and you're not maybe burning calories to exercise, does that not make you a little bit more physically able and a little bit more likely to maybe go home and then take a walk around the block?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think throughout the day you need to obviously get up. What my routine might be is, drink some water, take a bathroom break, walk around the office, or even if you get like a lunch break, try to get outside, get 10 minutes of sunlight. It's going to re-energize you, and it'll actually help you get through that 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock mid-afternoon slump when you want to eat everything in sight. So that's like just try to be as active as you can, getting up and walking around and taking a break.
I think the biggest point of a lot of this stuff, when you talk about sleep and you talk about office workouts and office exercise stress, you don't need to be a marathon runner. You don't need to be a professional fitness competitor, you don't need to be a bodybuilder.
Right.
If you're just trying to get a little bit of fit, it's surprisingly how far little things like this will go.
Yeah.
And a 5-minute walk around the office 6 or 7 times a day will actually go quite a ways. You won't lose 200 pounds just doing that.
No, obviously not. But
it's going to go a long way.
I think so too. It's just about creating those little habits and trying, telling yourself, I want to be fit. I want to get up and walk around. All right, guys, so as we close out today's episode, I have a couple questions for you. One is, how much sleep are you getting every night? Are you getting the 7 or 8 hours? You're getting 4 or 5 hours?
No comment.
Also, what are some things that may be tripping you up on your process of getting fit? We want to know the answers to those questions. I'm Angelique. This is Bobby. Make sure to ask us any questions below. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a good one.